All right, so this is going to be a reading for Virgo. And for the Virgo that I'm reading for today, I'm seeing that you have a very strong desire to be well known or to be successful, and you may measure that level of success by how well known you are or, how much validation you get from the outside world. I'm going to dive into the tarot in a moment, but before I do, I just want to say thank you so much for being here and for receiving this reading. And if you would like to lend your energy to the channel to help me manifest messages that resonate more with you, you can like and subscribe. And if you'd like a personal reading, you can email me. My email is available below in the description box. But let's go ahead and get started, Virgo. So, like I said, I'm seeing that you could have this sort of pushing desire to be known, and it almost comes through as like a little bit obsessive to reach your goal or to reach success. And it comes through also as a limiting belief. You could have certain expectations attached to this desire, and there's this feeling of I'm only going to be successful if I am well known. I'm only going to be successful if I'm the best in my field or the best at my craft. And if I'm not, then I'm not really worth anything. That's what it kind of comes down to, is that you measure your self-worth attached to how much other people can validate you or how much other people see your success, which comes through as a little bit deceptive because you can be successful regardless of if anyone else is there to see it. And it's important that you're able to measure your own success for yourself based on your own metrics and what it means to you rather than relying on other people. Now, the oracle cards for today are the dream, compromise, and projections. So there's this energy of this beautiful dream that you have, this path that your soul kind of calls you to, but um, when you allow other people's energies or other people's expectations or other people's opinions of you to influence what you're doing, you actually end up compromising the integrity of this dream or of this goal. And it looks like you have this really powerful life force, Virgo. You have this urge to create, this urge to execute, right? Virgo is all about bringing the energies of the heavens down to earth and executing them, creating something, having a vision, and producing it, bringing it out into the world. But it's almost like your vision becomes impacted by other people who actually it's not really about them. It's about you and your creative process and your ability to create something meaningful for yourself and bring your unique gifts into the world. And when other people interact with what you're doing, or they put their judgments onto it, or maybe they judge you negatively or positively or whatever it is, those come through as projections of who they are rather than being about your authentic self. It becomes more about this other person, but not even who they are authentically. It becomes about their desires, how they see you, their perception, that kind of thing, and it inherently compromises the integrity of what it is that you're ultimately trying to do. And so that's what this reading is really about. Now we're going to dive into this energy. Let's take a look here at what is going on for you. When it comes to your work and what you put your energy into, there's something that you're very excited to work on. It comes through as positive on the surface, but there's a lot of struggle attached to this, a lot of energies that kind of conflict within you. It kind of scatters your energy, things like that. And Spirit's asking you to close that energy out because it's kind of like you have your vision, you have your steps forward, and then it becomes complicated by this stressful energy. It's almost like you're moving too fast in the energies of creation. It's like you're rushing through to get to the end goal because you feel like you need to produce a certain product. Um, and it also prevents you from creating from a more positive place, from that heart space, because you end up really feeling like I just have to get this done, or I just have to. It's more about the end goal than the process, is what I'm seeing. And when we're in a creative state, it's really about stepping into that flow and tapping into our inner world, our inner creativity, our inner passions, and like I said before, bringing those to the fore. And I see the reason that you're rushing is almost to meet the demands of other people, and these could be like physical deadlines, or it could be more abstract, like your idea of what other people will think of you. Maybe some of you are posting this on social media, maybe some of you are performers, and there's this feeling of like, I have to keep up with the competition, I can't fall behind. And it comes through as a stressful energy. As you move forward in this creative endeavor, you're very focused on this sense of like, well, what if other people reject me, or what I'm creating? Like, this has to be up to snuff, I'm hearing. And so it really becomes about the standards for this rather than your own path, your own personal commitment. And it disconnects you from why you started creating this in the first place, and really becomes like a very anxious process for you. You're showing me I'm really doing it for other people at the end of the day. And this may not be something conscious, but it is an energy that comes into your creative energy. When it comes to what it is that you're creating here, it's really important that not only you give the best of your energy to it, but that you have confidence in yourself. And when you begin to worry about what other people think of you, like I said, you get pulled off the path of your creation, and you're less open to the actual creative flow. And when we're open to the creative flow, we step into this really unique energy of being open to the unexpected, right? We're simply creating because we're following the life force within us, we're following our inner guidance, we're having ideas. It's creative. It's creating something where there was maybe nothing before. And it's really important that you stay open to that energy and open to whatever happens. And when you get focused on, how well known am I? How am I being received? You're not giving yourself the chance to create from a truly open place. It's important to allow yourself to take risks, to do things that might quote unquote fail, to do things that might quote unquote feel ugly, or might not land with your audience, and to do it because it was important to you to do at the time. And so Spirit's wanting you to take a little bit more risk and not worry so much about the final product or what other people think of you, because it looks like in the past you really struggled to open up to that side of yourself that maybe is a little bit weird, or is a little bit out there, or a little bit freaky. And that's what Spirit's saying, as you move forward, you need a little bit more. Because of this energy, I see it decreasing your level of confidence as you start to kind of map out what you want to do here, as you want to put that creative energy out into the world. You go from the King of Swords to the Page. So a very confident, capable energy of, I know what I'm doing, I know what I'm creating, to, oh, maybe I don't know as much as I thought I did. And it's because kind of you had these doubts about how other people are going to receive you, or you tell yourself maybe before you even begin that it's not going to work out, that you're going to be rejected, and that energy really slows you down and pulls you down. It comes through as very, very heavy for you. It's very hard for you to ground through this experience, because it's almost like you get triggered or you get activated by the idea of everything going wrong, or maybe things have gone wrong in the past. And so you have this idea, and that's where I think this projections card comes from, of if everything's going to go wrong, why even try? And it really scatters your energy, and it's very important as a Virgo in general, but also just as someone who is creating something, to ground yourself in what you can touch, taste, feel, all of that in your senses in the 3D world so that you can come down to earth and bring with you your creations. And it becomes very hard to do that when your energy is really scattered, and that starts with you kind of telling yourself, well, what if everything goes wrong? That's where you start to lose some of your direction here. It's important, I'm hearing, that you do connect back to the confidence that you have in your ideas. Like, remember why you're doing this in the first place. Does it spark joy? Does it motivate you? Do you enjoy participating in it? Like, what is it about this thing? Because when you step into that energy, into the flow, I see you really kind of taking off. And it really comes from your passions and your decision to pursue your passions, regardless of what it gives back to you. You know, like, even if you don't make any money doing this, or even if other people aren't watching you, like, even if you never get a single audience member, it's almost like you're doing this because you have that spark, you have that desire. And that's what Spirit's asking you to reconnect to, is the feeling that this gives you, and choosing to do this because it feels good. And it seems like over time you may have disconnected from that feeling of doing it because it feels good, and you end up doing it more because of what you think you can get out of it. But like I said, again, that disconnects you from your kind of driving force, your creative energy within you. You could be kind of obsessed with, like, not just making a name for yourself, but really supporting yourself financially. I'm hearing, I want to be that bitch. Like, I want to be the person who has it all, is self-created, self-made, and has shown people that they're successful and can kind of stand on their own as successful. And when you do that, you kind of move further away from, again, that spark within you, doing it for the quote-unquote right reasons, like doing it because you care, because it sparks joy in you, because it inspires you, all of that. You actually move further away from that energy and further away from feeling confident in whatever this is for you. This is something that does make you very happy, but if you keep going in this direction, I actually see you being really disconnected from the happiness that's involved in this. And Spirit's saying, like, it's important that this makes you happy. It's important that you follow your happiness. And there's quite a bit of happiness coming to you, but you're not going to tap into it if you keep, you know, getting stuck in your head about, am I worth it? Am I successful? All of that. And so your task at this time is to really just focus on what makes you happy and reconnect to your inner child and why it is that you do this in the first place, you know. Whether or not it makes you famous or other people approve of you, it's about self-care at the end of the day, and doing this because you love yourself, not because other people are approving of you. The moment that you step into the positive energies here is the moment that the energy starts to pick up. Like, you might actually receive more attention, receive more opportunities, receive more confirmation from the universe that you're on the right path when it comes from a place of the heart, when it comes from a place of excitement. And that's something that so far you've kind of cut yourself off from, possibly without even knowing it, because you're so focused on the logistics, on making money, on producing, you know, whatever kind of outcome you're desiring here. And Spirit's showing, if you continue in this direction, you're going to step further and further away from your happiness. But if you step towards your happiness and you tap into that joy that you feel when you engage in this, you're going to generate a lot more activity, and the universe is going to come to meet your manifestation. Over time, if you keep doing this from a place of, it's just what I need to do, I need to make money, I need to succeed, you're going to feel rejected over and over again, and you're going to feel really disappointed and really exhausted because your energy is scattered and you're not enjoying it, you're not receiving anything from it, and it's not speaking to your heart space. And they're almost saying here that, like, you can make all the money in the world, but if you're disconnected from your joy, you're not going to really have anything. And so they're really stressing here, like, hey, Virgo, like, get back onto your path, and not just your path in terms of creating this for the sake of creating it, but creating it because it makes you happy and because it brings you closer to yourself. And I'm seeing that this is something that you may not be entirely aware of, how disconnected you've become from yourself through the process of trying to create a certain outcome. Because in the society that we live in, especially if you live in the West and you live under capitalism, and you kind of live in that, like, grinding, hustling culture, it's really rewarded for us to step away from ourselves and to just produce and produce and produce. And so Spirit's kind of leaving this as a reminder to you to get in touch with how you feel and not overthink as much. And to really make the choice to move on from this need to be completely successful in the material world or to be completely known. And it's going to have to be a conscious choice that you make to move forward from that mentality, but you may not even be aware at this time that you need to make that choice. Let's get 3 cards of advice from the universe, and then we'll close out the reading. Again, the advice is keep creating. You're only at the beginning of this process, but do it in such a way that it fulfills you before anyone else, that it brings you happiness no matter how it affects anyone else. Because if it brings you happiness at the end of the day, then really you've succeeded more than most people can say for themselves. So that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope this helps. I hope this resonates, and I'll see you next time.